Michigan State's Jalen Watts Jackson.
20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There goes Davis.
Oh, my God.
Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game.
Welcome back to another episode here, another show of the Ian Fritts Show. Guys, we have a lot to talk about, a lot to get to tonight. First thing I want to say, some of you were asking about how we did in the picks. I'm not going to get to the picks later today. I'm just going to talk about them right now, just get it out of the way. If you notice, I don't have a straw yet, and if you're new to the show, when we have a winning week in the picks, I get a straw. No winning week, we don't use a straw. So we had a losing week. We went, I believe, 8-11 in the picks this week. It wasn't good. It wasn't good by any means, guys. It wasn't good by any means, and we're still good overall record, guys. We're still good. We are 84 and 79.5 overall right now. So, you know, we got the 5 games above 500, and we just need to build. We just need to build. Right now we're down at the bottom, so we need to build up. But that's the recap for the picks this past weekend. It was a weird weekend, college football. We're going to get to a little bit of a different show today, something I just wanted to talk about with 2 weeks left in the season, which sounds terrible, and it's sad, and I know a lot of you are sad. I'm sad. I'm very, very sad. It's a tragic time, and it's sad. I mean, not as much I can say, except it's sad. Substitute whatever whatever synonym you have for sad, put that in there, and that's what I feel at this moment, because we got 2 weeks left of regular season college football. Tough times here. Okay, what is the order of the show today? So with 2 weeks left, I kind of wanted to get to 5 takeaways I had from week 11 and talk about some big things that happened. So we're going to jump into my 5 takeaways from this weekend, and then we'll get into the what if poll as well. So jam-packed show. Let's see what we can do with it, and we're just going to jump right in. First takeaway, Jimbo Fisher will have a nice retirement wherever he chooses to live. Maybe he's going to go live in Italy. Maybe he's going to go live in London. Maybe he's going to go live in Hawaii. I don't know where he's going to choose to live, but wherever he does, he can probably buy the entire thing. This man is loaded. Now, he was loaded before, but now he's even more loaded. Some of you have no idea what I'm talking about. Jimbo Fisher, ex-head football coach of the Texas A&M Aggies, was fired as of this morning. Reports about this happened in the middle of the night, 3 a.m., 4 a.m. He's been officially fired by Texas A&M, and his buyout to fire him is $77 million. Now, some of you are saying, Ian, why would they fire him? Well, the answer to that is they want to win big-time football games, and they want to make a college football playoff and win a national championship. That's what they brought Jimbo Fisher in to do, and that's what he failed to do. Some of you may know this, some of you may not. When they hired Jimbo Fisher, Texas A&M football, the university, they gave him a plaque. In this plaque, it says 20- NCAA football Division I championship. Now that dash is for whatever year Jimbo Fisher was going to hypothetically win a national football championship for the Texas A&M Aggies. Newsflash, they didn't win a championship while he was there. They didn't win anything. They were close one year. We'll get to it. But the Jimbo Fisher experiment was a disaster down there in Texas A&M Aggie country down there. It was, nothing else much you can say. It was a disaster. Now, he was the head coach for 6 years, including this year, 2018 through 2023. His records by year, back in 2018, 9-4, 8-5, 9-1. That was 2020 COVID year. They finished 5th in the college football playoff rankings that year, so barely missed out on a CFP bid. Followed up with an 8-4, get to a 5-7 2 years ago, 2022, or last year, 2022, and then currently this year, 6-4. It's not good. This right here, those records are not good for what he was bringing in recruiting. Let's get to the recruiting rankings. After each year, Jimbo Fisher coached there. So following his first year, 4th ranked recruiting class. Then we go 6th, 8th, the first ranked recruiting class after an 8-4 year. Okay, they followed up that recruiting class with the 5-7 last year. Okay. In that first ranked recruiting class was one of the best recruiting classes of all time, one of the best defensive line class of all time. They followed up that first with a 15th following last year's 5-7, and then currently this year for the 2024 cycle, they have the 7th ranked class. So solid classes all around the board for the Texas A&M Aggies, for Jimbo Fisher and company. And what have they done with that? Absolutely nothing. If you're consistently a top 10 recruiting team in the nation, you need to be consistently a top 10 team in the nation. Newsflash, Jimbo Fisher was never consistently anything down there in Texas A&M. Never consistently anything. And it was a disaster. It was a disaster. Now, whoever goes to Texas A&M, they are going to have one of the best jobs in all of college football. Why? Why would you say that, Ian? Well, number one, they have all the money in the entire world. They can get whoever they want, coaching-wise. Also, they can get whoever they want, player-wise. Yes, you can buy players now. It's legal, whatever. Texas A&M has the funds, has the resources to do all of that, okay? So you can get whoever you want. You have elite facilities. You're in the middle of Texas. You have elite recruits in your backyard. You don't have to go take planes and spaceships to get to. You can walk out of your office as the next head coach of Texas A&M. Maybe it's me. I put out on Twitter today. I said, hey, Texas A&M, I will take that job. I'll do it happily. I will turn this thing around. Hire me. I'm in. I am in. We're waiting to hear back from them. Hopefully, we'll hear back from them soon. I think it would be a great opportunity for me, and I would love to do it. Enough of that sidebar. You have everything you need to have to succeed as a head football coach, to win national championships. You have all of that at Texas A&M. Why has nobody done it yet? Because they haven't had a great coach to put it all together and put a great product out in front of their fans, in front of the college football world, okay? They have all they need to have an elite team. All of it. Every single thing you need. Facilities, management, recruiting services. You got it all. They have it all. They just haven't been able to put it together because the head man up there, Jimbo Fisher, whatever. Not great head football coach. Jameis Winston won that national championship for you. You have it all. That's why I think I'd be a great fit. I have it all. Texas A&M has it all. Put it together. We win a national championship, baby. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think we could do that with me. But whoever they do get, they have all the tools they need to succeed and win a national championship. Now, some of the names thrown out there, Dan Lanning, head coach at Oregon right now. Yes, Texas A&M is a better job than Oregon. I know Oregon's going to the Big Ten. SEC, better conference. You're also in a better spot for recruits. You're more central. You got a lot of them in Texas. Better facilities, better everything, more money, deeper pockets. You got it all at Texas A&M. You don't have it all at Oregon. You have a lot, not all. So Dan Lanning is one of the names that's been thrown out there. He would be an elite hire down there. I think he'd be a great coach down there. I don't think they're going to do that. Kyle Whittingham at Utah was another name that's been thrown out there. I don't think Kyle Whittingham is ever going to leave Utah. He's been there for as long as I have been born. I'm pretty sure maybe before I was born. Then you got Mike Elko over there at Duke. He used to be at Texas A&M, defensive coordinator over there. That could be a good fit. That's what I think will be most likely. All guys that are performing well with what they have, and you give them all that Texas A&M has, I think they can succeed dangerously in the SEC. However, I don't think A&M is going to make the right move. I said Mike Elko is the most likely of those, and I think that is true, but I don't know if they're going to hire. I don't think they're going to hire the correct person. We won't know that until 5 years from now, but I'm going to make a bold prediction and say whoever Texas A&M hires is not going to go well. I just think Texas A&M, poverty program, and whatever they do isn't going to pan out for them, okay? So That's the number one takeaway from the weekend. It happened this morning. It's a big time topic in college football. Jimbo Fisher living large, basically doing nothing. If I could be, I might just want this Texas A&M job so I can get fired and I can just do this. That's what I'm saying. All right. Second takeaway from this weekend of college football, Georgia. Georgia's the best team in the country, okay? And I think it's pretty clear now. Why is it clear, you ask me, Ian? Well, what about Michigan? What about Ohio State? What about Florida State? What about Washington? We'll get to those teams a little bit later in the what if poll, but right now, Georgia, the best team in the country, okay? They have all the talent in the world. Every player on that team is elite, okay? They have elite backups. They have depth like no other. They have a head football coach that somehow convinces these guys, these players, these elite players that were better than everybody in high school, and they're better than everybody in college right now. He somehow convinces those guys, the guys that know they're better than everybody, he somehow convinces them that they are going to lose to everybody, which lights a fire under them and makes them play out of their minds against good opponents like Ole Miss and Missouri these past couple weekends. Okay? I don't know how Kirby Smart does it. I don't know what he is feeding these kids, what he is doing to their brains, how he's hypnotizing them and changing their minds to think, I'm the best, to, we may lose this weekend. It might happen. We might not win a game these last few weeks. Whatever he's doing, he just needs to keep doing it, because Georgia, when they play, that SpongeBob meme, when they play a team that is like, all right, you're going to beat them by 50. Well, they don't. They beat them by 18 or so, and they don't cover. But they go in there, they play a team like Ole Miss, top 10 in the country, one of the best offenses in all of college football. Lane Kiffin, great offensive mind. They play a team like that. They're that buff SpongeBob, okay? I'm scared of Georgia. They're controlling teams defensively and offensively. It doesn't matter. Right now, okay? Their defense, elite since Kirby Smart's been there, just continues to get better. They give up a touchdown about the opening drive every game, whatever, okay? Whatever. They do that, and then they make adjustments, and they let 10 points get scored on the rest of the game, okay? What is scarier about this Georgia team than I think Georgia teams in the past? Now, some of you may be upset with me what I'm about to say. Stetson Bennett was a good player. He was a good player. He was a great college quarterback, and he did what he needed to do. Carson Beck is better. He's better. He's a better quarterback. And Georgia with a better quarterback is scary, guys. Now, they were already scary. What they are doing to teams, what they did to Ole Miss yesterday, beating them by 35, is just embarrassing, one, for Ole Miss. Two, it sends a message to the college football world. Hey, the Bulldogs, we're not messing around anymore. We're coming to you, and we're going to show you that we're going to win the national championship again, okay? We may be convinced that we're going to lose, but when we get on that field, we know we're better than you, and we're going to show it to you. That's what Georgia's doing right now, okay? They controlled the game against Ole Miss. They controlled it against Missouri in a much lesser fashion, much lesser degree. But from what Missouri showed us yesterday against Tennessee, Missouri is a very, very good football team. Very good football team. Nobody saw that coming, me included. I made fun of them at the beginning of the year. Noted, won't do that again. Georgia is the best team in the country, okay? They've played two very good teams back-to-back, dominated them. They've got a good team in Tennessee coming up this weekend, and I expect them to dominate them. They may not blow them out like they did Ole Miss, okay? But I expect domination on that field based on what we've seen from Georgia right now, okay? Best team in the country, Georgia. That's takeaway number 2. Need to take a sip here before we get into what I think is maybe my favorite takeaway of the weekend. If you haven't drank any water today, make sure you go drink some water. It's good for you, okay? All right. Jayden Daniels is the best player in the country. No doubt about it. Some of you may say Marvin Harrison Jr., and I think it's close. But Marvin Harrison Jr. isn't doing things that no other wide receiver has ever done in college football. And that's exactly what Jayden Daniels is doing, okay? Yesterday, against, albeit not a great Florida team, it's still against an SEC team, big-time football program, okay? He is the first player. Now, let me get this right. Lamar Jackson didn't do this. Baker Mayfield didn't do this. Kyler Murray didn't do this. Jalen Hurts didn't do this. Joe Burrow didn't do this. Caleb Williams hasn't done this. Nobody has done this. Tim Tebow didn't do this, okay? Think of every great quarterback that has ever played the game of college football. None of them have done what Jayden Daniels did last night, okay? What did he do? He threw for over 300 yards, and he ran for over 250 yards. I paused to let that sink in, okay? Because it took me a little while to believe that. I'm just going to say it again because really, I just need to say that again and you can understand why I'm saying what I'm saying, okay? He threw for over 300 yards and he ran. He ran for over 250 yards. In my mind, I don't care what happens the rest of the season. I don't care that LSU has 3 losses on this season. Jayden Daniels deserves the Heisman Trophy, and he needs to get it, okay? Marvin Harrison, elite wide receiver, elite player in this country. He doesn't deserve the Heisman Trophy with what's going on in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, okay? What Jayden Daniels is doing down there is incredible. Absolutely incredible stuff from what he's doing. You can't take away what he's done, okay? And there's this argument going around. It's going around out there that, well, you know, he has the same stats as some other guys with better records, so you can't give him the Heisman Trophy. First objection. No, he doesn't. We'll get into the stats in a second. Second objection. Those other quarterbacks, those other players are not doing things that have never been done in college football. Of all the players, it's hard to make history as a player in college football. Good history. It's hard to make that this far down the road with all the elite players that have played this game. And Jayden Daniels just did it last night, okay? You do that, you're doing that consistently through the season, which he's done. He's not breaking records every game, but he is consistently putting up these numbers. He's an elite player, and he deserves the Heisman Trophy. Now, to those that are saying there's other players with the same records, similar stats, same or better records, no, you're wrong. Let's go through it. Jayden Daniels, 71% completion percentage, 4,100 total yards, 38 total touchdowns to 4 picks, okay? Let's get to Michael Penix Jr., popular Heisman pick right now, popular guy. 68% completion percentage, advantage Jayden Daniels. 3,500 total yards, advantage Jayden Daniels. 30 total touchdowns from Michael Penix Jr., advantage Jayden Daniels. 7 interceptions, advantage Jayden Daniels, okay? So that eliminates Michael Penix. I know he's undefeated. I don't care. I don't care. His numbers aren't even comparable, okay? Bo Nix. Let's get into him. 78% completion percentage, okay? Advantage Bo Nix. 3,300 total yards, excuse me. Advantage Jayden Daniels by 800. 34 total touchdowns, advantage Jayden Daniels to 4 interceptions. Tied, okay? So Bo Nix, maybe. But no. Dillon Gabriel. Now, some of you are saying, well, Dillon Gabriel, yeah, he has very good numbers, guys, so I'm bringing him into this, okay? 71% completion, I can't say completion percentage to save my life right now. Whatever, you guys know what I'm talking about. 71%, Jayden Daniels, 71%, tied there, so no advantage. Dillon Gabriel, 3,400 total yards, advantage Jayden Daniels. 36 total touchdowns for Dillon Gabriel, advantage Jayden Daniels to 5 interceptions, so advantage Jayden Daniels. Now, the point I'm making is not that Jayden Daniels is so good that he can take a poverty team other than himself and have them only have 1 loss, okay? That's not the point. The point is what he's doing. I don't care that he's on a poverty team and he's not carrying them, okay? His team is so bad that he has to try and do everything he can, and he is, okay? A lot of times when a player tries to do everything to win for a football team, a lot can go wrong. You turn the ball over more. You'd make a lot of mistakes. You get injured. Not happening for Jayden Daniels. When he is trying to make things happen for that team, he makes it happen, okay? It's clear. He deserves the Heisman Trophy. No one else is close. No one else gets it. I don't care what happens the last 2 games of this season. Jayden Daniels, give him the Heisman Trophy. Give it to him right now, okay? That's why he's getting the certified stud muffin for throwing for 300 yards, running for 250. He's an elite player. Give him his muffin and give him his Heisman trophy right now, okay? That's the third takeaway, maybe my favorite takeaway this weekend. Let's get into maybe a controversial takeaway from this weekend, okay? Alabama's a top 5 team in the country, maybe top 3. That may be a crazy thing to say for some of you. You'd be like, whoa, Ian, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely yes, okay? They are scary looking, okay? The defense, we've known, been elite all year. Been elite. That's never been an issue. Hasn't been an issue and will not be an issue, okay? The issue was the offense earlier in the year. Sputtering against Texas here and there, sputtering against South Florida. Who's the quarterback? What are we going to do? And then they were like, you know what? This Jalen Milroe guy, he's got this special ability to run the ball extremely well, and he's got this elite deep ball. Let's play to those strengths and see what happens. Let's see what happens when we let him run the ball a little bit more and throw it downfield a little bit more. Let's see what happens. Ever since then, Jalen Milroe putting up scary numbers for his football team, and the offense looks like an absolute machine right now. Okay, Jalen Milroe, first player for Alabama to throw for 3 touchdowns and rush for 3 touchdowns in the same game. Everyone needs to watch out for Alabama. In a few weeks, about a month's time, we're going to get Alabama and Georgia in the SEC championship game. And look, it's been said that sometimes maybe that's the national championship, and I'm afraid I'm getting to the point where I think Alabama is very close to the second best team in this country. And I'm kind of disappointed to say that because, they have a loss. They were sputtering all year. Can I really be saying that? Is that something I believe? And I think it's getting to that point where I think they might be the second best team in the country. It's clear as day to me that they're a top 5 team in the country, but we're getting to territory where I think it's Georgia, Alabama. We're almost there, and we'll see in due time if we get there before the end of the regular season. But Alabama, top 5 team in the country. That's another takeaway I had this weekend. They stomped all over Kentucky. It was bad. Bleeding right into the next takeaway I have, following that Alabama takeaway, there are clear tiers in college football right now, and it couldn't be any more clear. Okay, we'll get into the tiers here in a little bit in the what if poll because I think it makes sense to talk about it with what I have in my poll. I said it a few weeks ago. I said teams are going to start telling us who they are, showing us who they are in these next few weeks. And in these past couple weeks, it has happened. Teams have had. Whoa, that was a terrible sentence. Almost had a stroke there. Teams have showed us who they are. Okay, Alabama's one of those teams. Georgia's one of those teams. I think Florida State is one of those teams. We'll get into that. I think Washington is one of those teams. So let's just jump right into the what if poll because these teams are showing us who they are. We'll have the little graphic over here. Number 24 team in the country, I think it's the Iowa Hawkeyes. Why are you not doing 25 teams, Ian? Well, say it with me. 24 teams or 25 teams don't deserve to be ranked. Only 24. Okay, so the what if poll does 24. We got the Iowa Hawkeyes at number 24. Why? Elite defense, offense, whatever. But the defense is so good, guys. I gotta have them up there. I got them right behind Oklahoma State. I know. Oklahoma State got absolutely thrashed by UCF. But they have those good wins. They have those good wins against Kansas State, against Oklahoma. So I have to keep them in the top 24. I just do. Then we got the Tennessee Volunteers right in front of them. They're not that great, but they're not bad, I wouldn't say. I just think Missouri's a really good football team, and we'll get to them later. So we got them at number 22. North Carolina Tar Heels making an appearance back into the what if poll. I could have had them at number 24, whatever. These last 4 teams right here, including the next 3 or 4 teams, are kind of in this tier of, yeah, okay, you're a good football team. You're a good football team. And I think those teams, North Carolina's one of them, Tennessee's one of them, Oklahoma State, Iowa, number 20 in the country, Utah, number 19, Notre Dame, 18, Kansas State, and I have James Madison in here. I know some of you may say, Ian, they don't play anybody. I don't care. You're undefeated. I'm putting you in there, okay? So all of the, and you know what? Spoiler, Arizona's not going to be on this graphic because they're number 16 in the country, but I'm drawing the line right there. 16 through 24, you can rearrange those in my mind as much as you want, and I'm okay with it, okay? That's what I see. That's kind of the tier that's like, we're better than these teams that aren't ranked, but we're not as good as the teams in front of us. Obviously, you're not as good as the teams in front of you. But that's kind of what I would say is the good football team tier. That's what I'm calling those guys. Good football team tier. So that's what we're going to call for those guys. Let's jump into what I think is a very good football team tier. Okay, we have LSU. And you may be saying, Ian, didn't you just call them a terrible team? I did. However, they have the best player in college football, which elevates a terrible football team to a very good football team. Not an elite team, okay? Just a very good football team. So we've got LSU at 15. We've got OU at 14. We've got Penn State at 13. Ole Miss at 12. Oregon State 11. And Louisville at number 10, okay? And you know what? We've got Texas at number 9, okay? So in the very good football team category, we've got all of those teams. So some of you might be saying, Ian, you got Texas, Louisville, Oregon State, Ole Miss. You got those teams in the same tier as OU, who just got beat 2 weeks in a row? I do. Number one, because OU's defense is for real. Number two, when their offense decides to play football, they're a very good football team. Not a great, not an elite. Okay, we'll get into great and elite here in a second. Those are the teams in the very good football team tier. Okay, they're better than the good football teams. They're very good. So that's why we've got them there, kind of in the middle of the poll there for the what if poll. Okay, now let's get into what I think are the great football teams in this country. At number 8, this may shock some people. We've got the Missouri Tigers, okay? We've got the Missouri Tigers at number 8. They're a great football team. The defense is very good. The offense is great. You got Luther Burden. You got Brady Cook. You got that running back running all over people. The defense has an elite shutdown corner. They're doing it all. Great football team, okay? Another great football team, Washington Huskies. The defense is still met. The offense humming, okay? Great football team, Washington Huskies. Oregon Ducks, great football team. Need I say more? I think they're very good. I'm high on the Oregon Ducks. Another great football team, I think, is the Florida State Seminoles. Now, some of you may be saying, Ian, they beat Miami by 7. Well, one, Miami plays good when they play Florida State. Okay, big rivalry game for them. Miami also has elite talent. Okay, now coaching can help elite talent become an elite team, but elite talent on its own is still, I mean, you're still going to get a pretty good fight and product out of those guys. So I'm not that worried about Florida State right now. I still think they're a very good football team. Not great by any means. We're about to get to what I think are the 4 great teams in the country right now. And lucky for us, they're going to play each other before the college football playoff. So we'll throw it up there. We've got the great football teams in this country. Okay, we've got Alabama at number 4, Ohio State at number 3, Michigan at number 2, and Georgia at number 1. And I might even put Georgia in its own tier. Elite might be the tier for, this is the elite team. So whatever, very elite or whatever you could say is more than elite, I think we have Georgia. So kind of Georgia above these other 3 a little bit by a hair. But that's kind of what I have in the what if poll right now. That's kind of why I've broken it up, how I've broken it up. Maybe you can shuffle some teams around in those tiers. No problem with that at all. But right now, I think it's clear as day that Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, and Alabama are the 4 best teams in this country. And you can't convince me otherwise. You cannot do it. So right now, if I had to give 4 teams, let them play in the playoff, it's going to be those 4 teams. And I have no problem with that. Absolutely no issue with that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, enjoyed this show. Thank you so much for watching. I know I stumbled over my words a little bit here and there, but we all do it. Make fun of me for it. I deserve it. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate the support, the views. Just comment down below what's your favorite college football team, who you guys like watching, supporting. Let me know. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Tell grandma to subscribe. Tell everybody to subscribe. Your coworker, neighbor, whoever it might be. Let them know about the show. And see you guys in the next one. I love you guys.
Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free. It's picked up by Michigan State. Jayden wants Jackson.
25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45.